Planning for the Ashtabula Mall began in the late 1980s, and construction was to begin in the fall of 1990, with an estimated opening of the fall of 1992. The mall would provide a stimulus to the area, as 400 construction jobs would be created over the next 24 months, and in addition, it would provide jobs for about 1,000 people and generate over $1 million in local taxes for Ashtabula Township. The survey done on the mall and surrounding areas showed that the mall would serve approximately 150,000 people and give new retail options to the Geneva, Conneaut, Jefferson, Madison, and Andover communities. The mall opened its doors on Wednesday, October 14th, 1992, with a grand opening ceremony at 9:15 that morning, which included a ribbon-cutting ceremony and music by the Edgewood High School Music Band. Several grand opening entertainment acts were scheduled, such as the Good Life Singers, Ashtabula Town Choir, Fubar the Robot, Sparky the Fire Safety Clown, and face painting by Curly Shirley. Promotions were aplenty as well in the first 4 days of the mall, which included a super shopper bag that was given away to the first 500 shoppers that included t-shirts, keychains, and more.
Now get 50% off everything at Farmore's going out of business total liquidation sale. These are the final days. Everything's 50% off. All prices are below wholesale. Hurry in before Farmore's doors close forever.
Ashtabula Mall opened with the Dillard's, JCPenney, Super Kmart, Farmore, Carlisle's, and Sears as anchor stores. Space for 70 retail stores and just over 1 million square feet in total. It could be argued that the mall was doomed from the start, with bad luck right from the get-go, as one of its anchor stores, Farmore, was entangled in legal issues as CFO Patrick Finn was accused of embezzlement and hiding about $10 million in one of his new ventures, a basketball league called the WBL. Things got worse as the company reported false figures, had to borrow millions to pay back for its unnatural rapid growth, and eventually filed for bankruptcy a short time later, and its upper echelon would find itself serving a 17-year prison sentence, having owed lenders and suppliers in excess of $1 billion. The community was labeled as being in a slump early, but Cafaro thought this would bring it back to life. Early challenges in the mall's first year would hit a hurricane and a major problem on November 1st, 1995.
You can always tell a cowgirl by her clothes. You can always find the kitchen with your nose. You can always count on certain things, and Walmart's one of those.
One reason why you can always count on Walmart and the products we sell is that the products we sell are the brands you can always trust. You wouldn't have it any other way, and neither would we.
Walmart opened its doors in late 95, literally right next door to the mall, and the mall even facilitated guests with a shiny new road to connect to Walmart, almost encouraging guests to check out its shiny new competitor, almost like betraying a friend and throwing him right into the bully's arms. Dillard's left in 2007, and the mall continued to go downhill. In 2008, the mall was sold to Cabot Investment Properties, and they changed the name to its current name of Ashtabula Towne Square. Many more tenants left, and the mall has been a virtual ghost town for over a decade. And although the mall is very clean and the mall manager has an optimistic spirit, it is unlikely that this mall will ever return to its short-lived glory days. Hey guys, Anthony here with Ace's Adventures, and welcome to the current state of the Ashtabula Towne Square Mall, as you guys heard earlier, formerly known as the Ashtabula Mall in Ashtabula, Ohio. So, obviously the pieces that you heard me speaking on earlier were pre-recorded pieces. The factual stuff, like the historical information, I like to pre-record those and try to have myself sound like I have some idea of what I'm talking about. But here, as we're going through the current state of the mall, I'm just going to ramble on a little bit and just chat about several different things with you guys. Before I get into the video, I want to tell you that I apologize for this coming out a little bit late with everything that's going on in the world right now. I've had a lot on my plate, to say the least, but am doing my best to stay positive and provide you with a current stream of content. Just real briefly here, I want to mention before we get into the actual topic at hand, Currently, as you guys well know, we all know there's a lot going on in the world right now, and traveling to any shopping mall at the current time for at least the next month or so, as the situation is currently evolving, I cannot go to any malls right now, obviously. They're all closed. There are a couple abandoned ones that I'd like to get back out to, but that takes some planning, and given the financial hardships we're all facing right now, I'm going to do my best to get to those as soon as we get back to normal. So the immediate plan for right now is, after this video, I'm going to be doing some director commentary videos on some old videos where I just chat with you guys and just have a conversation about what we're watching, and really just have a communal sense of gathering in these tough times that we're all dealing with. So that's the plan for right now, and then I will be filming some stuff locally around the area, trying to keep the content going during this crisis that we're all going through. But the Ashtabula Mall is a mall that I've been to several times. I did a video on this. It was one of my first ever videos that I did. It was 4 years ago, and I asked you guys multiple times, and a lot of you said that you were interested in an update on this property and update on other properties that I have done. And I like to try to give you guys always fresh new malls as much as possible, but sometimes, now more than ever, you have to be creative in ways to provide fresh content. And the first video I did on this mall was very, very rough. It was one of the first videos I had ever done before I had really kind of got my footing with editing. Still not a master at it, but have came a long ways since I first started making videos. So here we are 4 years later, and there have been really, in all honesty, not hardly any changes at this mall, other than the fact that the Super Kmart that is just to the left of what you're seeing right now is gone, and it was closing when I was there in 2016, so it's been gone for over 4 years already. It was one of the early Kmarts that closed before the mass exodus of Kmarts really began, and what we're seeing now, where there's under 100 of them left in the U.S., I believe. If you know how many are left, comment down below. So I wanted to come back, and I wanted to do an update on this property, and I actually spent a good amount of time in this property in the arcade, which you're going to see in a second. And I actually went to the Ashtabula library and found a bunch of news clippings, which you saw, that I did my best to take pictures of those copies of the pictures that you saw, the newspaper clippings, because I didn't have any cash on me at the time, and there was a printing machine at the library, but it was tough to get to. So hopefully you guys still got what I was trying to convey with the pictures I took of the pictures. So we are walking through the food court now, and they have this like topiary display there with actually live koi fish in a pond, and advertising for some local greenhouse or plant gardening, brickwork company that they're advertising for. But one of my favorite things about this property is this right here. So as you probably already have guessed, this is a former Aladdin's Castle arcade, and it pretty much has not been touched in years. They might have sprinkled in a couple games here and there, but it pretty much has a lot of the arcade machines that were probably there back in the day, in the later years of Aladdin's Castle. I mean, there are some old machines in here. The neon is not on, and the door to get to the neon is locked. I would have loved to have flipped the switch and tried to turn the neon on, but, not going to break into the door, obviously. But some of these things, including this ticket center machine right here, are definitely from the days I remember specifically of Aladdin's Castle. And, I could just sit in this little room here all day and just reminisce with you guys about all of the great times I had in Aladdin's Castle arcade back in my mall. This is just such a throwback. It's one of the things that I really enjoy about these malls, is seeing like this right here, Street Fighter 2. I mean, look how old it says it's a free play, and it's still hanging on. Just brings back some amazing memories of me in my childhood years, seeing people crowded around these machines, and now they're just sitting there. It's really sad, man. It's really, really sad. How far the mall and how has fallen, and how many changes our culture has gone through, and how different things are now. I would much rather have these days still be prevalent than how socially distanced distance we are, no pun intended, now purposefully and for a serious reason, but we really don't connect like we used to. We really, really don't. We connect through video services and Skypes and all that, but it's not as personal as it once was. And yes, many people still hang out and have large gatherings, but, that Speed Racer game is incredible, by the way. Back in my day, when I was in high school, you would get out of school, and I would go home, and I would hang out by the kitchen house phone and wait for my girlfriend at the time to call me on the house phone. And then later on in the night, if I was allowed to and I had done all my homework, I was allowed to get on the dial-up internet connection and chat on AOL Instant Messenger or ICQ, and play Sims and play Roller Coaster Tycoon, and talk to my girlfriend on AOL Instant Messenger, and I would have like a special alert tone for her when she came on. You guys know the famous sounds I'm talking about from AOL. So those were the days. I miss those so much. I snuck back here behind some of the machines here. It was just, it was able to squeeze through and look at the old counter here, and you can see where the prize neon used to be lit up. So, this is such a cool mall. I did speak with the mall manager, and if she does happen to watch us, I want her to know that this is in no way, by any means, blaming her or the mall for what happened to this property. I think this mall should never have been built in the first place. I think the Cafaro company had false and unrealistic ideas of what this property was going to become. Ohio and the surrounding area, as we know it, is very heavily mauled, and Ashtabula is a middle ground between Erie and Cleveland, and there was just so much competition. You've got the Mill Creek Mall in Erie, you've got all the malls that were in Cleveland at the time. Epic fail, how funny is that? And this mall was just doomed from the get-go, and not all its own fault either. You had the Farmore Company, which was a big anchor, which was in trouble with the legal troubles that I had mentioned. You had Walmart open in '95, and I really believe that Walmart was really the final nail in the coffin only 3 or 4 years after this mall had opened. And like I said, for some unbeknownst reason to me, the mall provided a direct road to the Walmart, to get people to go over there, maybe thinking it would help them sustain business. But obviously, Ashtabula is not that big of an area, and obviously Walmart effectively killed this mall for, one of the main reasons that this mall has been dead for a long time. But getting back to what I said, I spoke to the mall manager. She's very optimistic about the future, and I when I make these videos and I title them a dead mall video, a lot of times it's not to knock the malls. Most times it's not. There are some mall owners that do not take care of the properties at all and deserve to be, bashed for how they just don't do a damn thing to these places. And I will tell you that even though the mall manager is really optimistic, having the Kohan Group purchase this mall recently as they did is not good news for this mall, because the Kohan family does not do anything for their malls. They make these false promises to the community, and like he did at Great Northern Mall, how he was going to improve these businesses, and he had all these calls and blah 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 blah, and just a line of BS, when we all know that the real reason why a lot of these companies buy these malls is to get them as a tax write-off, and they don't have a plan to do a damn thing with them. They just let them sit, and it's unfortunate. Kohan is like the mini Moonbeam of mall slumlords, and I hope that the mall manager keeps the positive spirit and does some stuff on her own to keep the mall going, because the mall is very clean. It smells good. It is a nice mall. It looks relatively modern. It does have some retro aesthetics, but we all know I like that. So we'll see what happens. So that's about it, guys. I hope that, I just want to say in closing that 2020 has been a very challenging year for a lot of us, and especially with the outbreak going on. I did not want to dwell on it, but I'm praying that we all get back to normalcy soon. I have lost all my jobs. My car dealership job is gone. They laid everybody off, and I am not Uber driving right now because of the safety concerns with being around other people. And then, as you guys know, I'm a DJ too, and don't have that because all the schools are closed. So I'm just going to take it one day at a time, and hopefully we get some good news here in a month or so, and we can get to some sense of normalcy, and hopefully this virus starts to go away. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys for watching this video and hanging out with me. There will be more content coming in just a few weeks. Please make sure you are following me on Instagram and Twitter at AcesAdventures1. That's Instagram and Twitter, AcesAdventures1. That's where I update all of my photos and content and all that whatnot. Facebook, Aces Adventures. And if you want to help the cause, patreon.com/AcesAdventures, now more than ever. And PayPal, my address is acesadventures1@gmail.com if you want to donate. Thank you guys so much. This is Anthony with Aces Adventures. Check out the Dead Malls of Discord, where a lot of my friends and great creators are, to see all of us together trying to preserve the history of the malls. And we'll be back soon with more Dead Mall content.